All right. Good morning, everyone. Brad Roltgen here with the Fresno Bitcoin and Cryptocurrency Investors Meetup Group. Today, our original topic was centralized exchanges and using them, and different ones, and which ones were good, which ones maybe not as good, that kind of thing. But since the crypto market has been crazy in the last probably over a month now, it's gotten more crazy, and there's been some problems with some of these centralized exchanges. I'm sure we're going to talk about that as well. I am going to share the screen and open up this Google Doc because I put a couple things in here to talk about. We've talked about these in the past, but they're even more important. We've kind of learned why they're more important. All right, and so if you guys, let's see, I don't have a link to it. Do you guys all have the, let me put a link in the chat box here so you guys can get to this Google Doc as well. I think I've got it. Yeah, there it is. Okay, let me put that into chat. Chat. All right, so you guys can click on this and follow along. Also, if you click on the edit or request access in the upper right corner of the page, then I can give you edit access to be able to edit and contribute to that doc as well. We always try to use a Google Doc like this for any links or any specific information, so everybody has those notes and they can refer back to that after the meeting today. So first of all, one of these things I've been preaching for a while is don't store your cryptos on exchanges. And unfortunately, we've seen why that's a good idea recently. I'm going to make that in red. Does anybody have any questions or what that means? Or, because based on what's happened, some of this stuff, we want to go back to the basics. And so I want to, make sure we're covering that. So does everybody know what it means to have the funds on an exchange versus a wallet, that kind of thing?
Yes.
All right. You guys are all good there. Let's, Gloria, I'm going to pick on you and share with us the difference between a wallet or an exchange, or you name off a couple of those that you've used.
I started out with Coinbase.
Okay. And is that a wallet or an exchange?
It's an exchange, and I basically don't keep my crypto there. I did buy a ledger in the beginning, which was about 3 years ago, and you helped me set all that up. And but I got the one that only holds a few coins, so I basically have my XRP on that now. Then I got the Exodus wallet, which I love that Exodus wallet because it's user friendly. And now on my Coinbase, a year and a half ago, when the XRP thing was going on, I did not take all of my XRP off of Coinbase, and now I can't get it off.
And that's been the way, and that's been that way for what, a year and a half now, right? Because it's
a year and a half. I have about 40 of them, 40 XRP coins over there. But so what I do, because we all want to buy more XRP, what I do on Coinbase, I purchase XLM, and then I transfer it over to the Exodus wallet. And then in Exodus, I trade my XLM for the XRP. And I heard last week that we weren't supposed to get the XRP. And when the time comes, the Treasury is literally going to purchase it back from us at a really good rate. So that's a good investment. So anyway, that's what I do with those three. You know me, we tried a few other wallets, and I just wasn't compatible with them. So anyway, last March, I got the Lobster wallet. So I've been spending 3 months on that Lobster wallet, and boy, that's a trip. But evidently, it's put out by the military, and it is a safe wallet for us. And I transfer my XLM over into the Lobster wallet, which is stellar. Everything's stellar and blockchain, and there's just so much to learn. It's fascinating. So, and I've also traded my XLM on Lobster. I trade it for XRP. It's through a different asset like F chain. So
Right. Yeah. Let's not go too far off the road for that kind of stuff, but that does offer that. One thing, and I know you brought this up in a text we exchanged a little bit. So you referred to it as the Lobster wallet, but is Lobster really a wallet? And again, I want to get into these definitions and ways we can tell, because, you know, it may or may not be that kind of things. That's why I'm going down this path. So,
well, Lobster is several things. You could hold your assets on there. You could purchase with your debit card. You could purchase crypto on there. And also, one of the things I've done is, this is what they tell me. Whether it's true or not, I don't know, but I've done it anyway. And we have to remember, whatever we invest is what we're willing to lose, because this is the wild, wild west. We really don't know. So anyway, I heard in the beginning of March that all the seized assets from that Trump brought from other countries. Remember when he went around all the different countries? Anyway, they've got those seized assets, and evidently that is supposed to be the new stock.
Yeah, let's not go down that path too much, but back to where the wallet. Remember how we were talking about the Stellar wallet and then the Lobster and how they work together? Because this is kind of important to what we're talking about today.
But I think if anything does happen to the Lobster wallet, everything is on the Stellar blockchain, which is, to me, what makes it more secure. I don't feel secure about Coinbase. Coinbase is to buy and take it off.
Exactly. Perfect.
Coinbase
Perfect.
let all their people, they're letting a lot of people go. They're not doing the pro anymore, which I never did anyway. But I just, and all these old companies, you might think I'm nuts, but I think they were just, that made for the deep state to use and push their money around and money laundering. The new ones now are more secure, and like XRP, XLM, they're backed. XLM's backed by silver, XRP is backed by gold. Those are the ones I focus on now, because I want something that's backed by something that's real. Not fiat. I mean, Bitcoin, what's Bitcoin backed by? Nothing. So, and that's old. Bitcoin, as far as transferring money, could only do a handful of transactions a minute. When you get into this Stellar, in this blockchain, this new technology, they could handle millions and millions and millions of transactions a minute. So it's just so much more advanced. And it's connected to a satellite that's off planet, so it can't be hacked, which makes a lot of sense. Because I mean, look what's going on in the crypto world with all these others in the past. People losing a lot and everything. But the new technology that's coming out is safer and more secure. And I'll just say one more thing before I stop talking, because you know me, Brad.
Yeah, no, you're doing great. You're doing great. I just want to focus on the wallet
right now.
aspect.
I have a game. I'll bring it up right now.
Okay, go ahead and finish up there, Gloria.
Okay, I just want to say what really sold me on XRP a few years ago was that you know how you go to a bank or an insurance company and they always make mistakes and then we have to pay for it? They always win.
Right.
Well, with XRP, they've had this blockchain for 8 or 9 years now, and they run literally millions and billions of transactions all the time. Do you know they've never had one mistake? I mean, that's pretty darn impressive.
Maybe they're doing a lot of beta testing or something before we see it.
Yeah,
So good.
and I
Okay.
heard years ago, they could, one dime goes back 40 levels, they could find that dime.
Wow.
So, I mean, this is really impressive stuff.
Yeah, when it's
So,
all on the blockchain, they definitely. But let me just finish up where we were going on the lobster. So you had said that, when we set up the lobster wallet, it's really an app, running on our phones, but they have a web interface too. But they call it the lobster wallet, or we referred to it as that, but it's not actually the wallet. Like you said, we had created a stellar wallet, and that's where we had our 12 words and 12-word seed phrases and private keys, where the lobster was kind of just an interface to that. But when we set it up, we actually created the lobster account and the stellar wallet at the same time. So it seemed like we were doing it together, but like you had mentioned in our text conversation, the stellar wallet is there on the blockchain, even if lobster, the app or the interface of the company or organization or whatever would go away, we still have that stellar wallet, and we have the 12-word seed phrases for that. So I just wanted to kind of, define the difference there.
can I say something else?
Sure.
In the lobster wallet, it has their own coins. Like there's I downloaded these 10 different assets, and one of them is called Farsight, and that's to be able to vote online. So this lobster wallet is multi-dimensional. It's for the new world we're moving into, as far as the new global money world. So
yeah,
they have
they've made it easy to use, like compared to what we've done on BNB with like Pancake Swap and that kind of thing. They've actually built that DeFi exchange into the app. We kind of refer to it as a wallet, but it's really not a wallet for our discussion today here. So, okay. Let me see if anybody else wants to jump in on either, further defining that or questions on what we talked about so far. Oh, go ahead, Frank. I think I saw your mic jumping up there. Go ahead.
Did I hear that lady say that Coinbase Pro no longer is in existence?
That's what I thought she said, and I don't use it, but I'm going to look at it right now to see what's going on. Maybe they've limited that. Does anybody else work with that on a regular basis?
I got a notice on my Coinbase account that they wanted me to change my password. However, I changed over to Coinbase Pro because of the fees being a lot cheaper and so forth. But I haven't used anything. Those two accounts up. I'm concerned if Coinbase is closed out.
Yeah, let's see what else. I think Chris was going to jump in here. Chris, go ahead, and you have to have some info on that.
Who, me?
Yeah, I saw your mic jump up. I thought you're trying to jump in and share.
No, this is actually my first time here. I'm just listening to everything.
Oh, okay. Well, welcome. Glad you
you.
could join us.
Thank you.
Anybody else with Pro experience? I'm going to log into my regular Coinbase and see if I can switch over to Pro, just because that came up. Anybody else have any experience with
Brad,
that?
I had heard that in one of the Telegram chats.
Okay. Well, let's see what happens here for sure to see on that. Okay. Anybody else? I know Letitia, I saw you jump in there. You're unmuted. What, have you used Coinbase or Coinbase Pro at all? Go ahead. I think we can hear you. You're unmuted anyway. Okay. It looks like I'm getting in okay. It didn't even ask me for yeah, I'm in Coinbase Pro. Okay. Although I thought I was logging into Coinbase, but it jumped me into Pro. Okay. All right. So any questions on that? What we talked about so far? We're okay. Okay. Mark, you're doing okay there back in the Midwest?
Yeah, just hanging in there.
Okay, good, good. So then the next thing that I wanted to clarify is on the crypto.com app that we have on our phones. Now here in the US, we can't, at least the last time I checked, couldn't use crypto.com, just the website. So we have to use their app. And so sometimes when we think the app is on our phone, it's a wallet, but the crypto.com app is actually just the way that we interface with their exchange. So the crypto.com is not a place that you want to leave your coins, any longer than you need to. And really, I like to use the analogy of going to a store. So if I'm looking for bread, milk, and flour, I go to the grocery store and I exchange my dollars for bread, milk, and flour. But do I leave my bread, milk, and flour at the store? No, I bring it home. So the bringing it home is equivalent to moving it to a wallet where you control the private keys. So think of the exchanges as just places to go to exchange one crypto to another. Sometimes it's getting the fiat, from our bank, because our bank is linked to Binance.us or crypto.com or Coinbase. But once we get our crypto there, exchange it into the coin or token that we want, then we want to bring those back to our wallet where we control the private keys. So just since that is an app, I knew there'd be some confusion there. Let's see, any questions on that, or have you guys had any problems or limits with crypto.com? I haven't heard of any, recently. I know there was a problem. It's probably been, months ago, where depending on which app you had, you could only send one version of the BNB coin, but they got that fixed. You can actually send both BNB from both the Android and the iPhone version of that. All right. Let's see. Oh, hey, Michael. Good to have you on. How are you doing today?
Can you hear me?
I can. Go ahead.
Well, I'm just getting over COVID, so
Oh,
yeah, it's
okay.
been a tough week.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you're on the good side of that, hopefully,
Yeah,
as far as that goes. Okay.
pretty much that.
Yeah.
But I am pleased to see that Bitcoin has made a bit of a bounce, but I just don't know how much to believe that we're at a bottom.
Right.
Still, I don't know where you guys were talking. I caught at the end there, we were talking about a wallet. So
Yeah, with the issues with some of these exchanges, Voyager and some of these other ones, not allowing withdrawals and that kind of thing. I really wanted to go back and make sure everyone was clear on, what's a wallet where we control the private keys versus an exchange. So we're kind of just, covering that real quick.
can I ask you a question, Brad, about
absolutely.
Do you use like a cold wallet?
I don't personally. Gloria was just on, and I've worked with her on her ledger, and I've helped some other folks with Trezors and ledgers. But yeah, what are you looking at doing one, or what's going on?
To do one. I need to do one. I'm not really all that confident about where I have my stuff now. I have it at Coinbase.
Oh,
Coinbase Pro.
well, yeah, get it off of there. Let's.
So,
yeah. Now, just to kind of share some of Gloria's experience, and she mentioned it, a few minutes ago, where with the version she has, it only has a certain amount of memory, and you need a separate app on the device for each coin that you store. And so she got to, I think it was 4 or 5 coins, and then she was out of memory. So, she would have had to buy another device, but she ended up using Exodus to store the other coins that didn't fit on the cold wallet. So
you say other coins, are you talking about separate coins like Ethereum, Litecoin, and Bitcoin, or are you talking about 5 Ethereum or 5 Bitcoin?
No, different coins. So for example, there was, she had, Bitcoin, Ethereum, BNB, and maybe Litecoin were, some of the bigger holdings. And then, so the strategy was, okay, let's put those on the cold wallet since that's the safest. And then the other coins that she had smaller dollar values of, then she put those on Exodus. But
Okay.
it was just, obviously I'm not going to share how much she had or whatever like that. And that's irrelevant because really what, $1 million may not be a lot to you, but it's a lot to me, or, whatever. That doesn't matter because it all works the same regardless of how many zeros, are attached to the amounts. But the strategy was to put the bigger value ones in the cold wallet and then the ones that were, a little smaller than in the Exodus. So for you, Exodus is free. You can do it on your phone. You can do it on your computer, link them together. So I would do that this afternoon as soon as you get off of here, because
Brad,
go ahead.
I want to say something about that Ledger wallet. A person could have their money, their crypto on that Ledger wallet and lose it. And then they're screwed completely. So everybody says get a cold wallet, but that can get lost too. So I feel secure with, I really feel secure with the Lobster wallet because the military put it out, but also that Exodus wallet so far, I feel good about that.
Yeah, well, the Lobster wallet itself is not the wallet like we talked about a second ago. It's actually the Stellar wallet, where Lobster is more of an interface. So just to clarify there. And the point you can lose a cold wallet. Obviously, if you have it in your pocket and you get a hole in your pocket, it falls into the sewer and goes down the drain or something, you've lost it. But you can back it up because all it's doing is holding your private keys in there. It's not like it's got 5 pounds of barbells or something in that little device. All it's storing is the private keys. And so there are ways to restore cold wallets if the device goes bad or that kind of a thing. You may even want to be really safe. You could buy one, put your coins on it, or the private keys, and then buy another one and restore it to that, and put one in a safe deposit box on the East Coast of the US and another one on the West Coast of the US, type of thing, to really be safe and have a little bit of redundancy. So there are ways to back those up as well. But I would definitely get your stuff off of Coinbase as soon as possible. If you've got $50 or $100, it's not a big deal to most of us. But if you've got $1,000 there and that's all your crypto, I would definitely move it to something like Exodus, which you could do in 15 minutes type of thing, is installing it. And
Exodus, huh?
I like Exodus because it supports a number of coins and tokens. You can use it on your phone and your computer and link them together. There's sometimes I talk to people that they like the computer, and then other ones like to do it on their phone. But this one you can do it on both, link them together, that kind of thing. It's free. They're not charging you. Gloria mentioned you can actually do exchanges from one coin to the other within the Exodus wallet. It's a little more expensive than doing it on an exchange ourselves, but it does give you that option, and makes it super convenient as far
Does
as
it
that.
not make you a little nervous that it's still connected to the outside world? That's one of the appealing things of Cold Wallet, is that it's connected to nothing electronic. Therefore, there's no way that I can be hacked.
Right. And that's the way that I used it initially. I put it on a computer that I don't use, and literally it's sitting in my closet, and it's turned off most of the time. I had like an accounting program on it that I would run once in a while. Was literally the only time I'd turn the computer on. But that became a little bit of a hassle for me to use it, because I had to turn it on and blah, blah, all that. So then when the app came out, I got the app and linked them two together. And so now I've actually been using it a little more, with the app, because I still don't turn the computer on very often. Now you don't have to do the app. And in that example, if I would have not done the app, then it would have been offline. The computer is off. I could actually unplug it from the network cable too, would be the last thing to do, just in case there's ways you can kind of turn on computers sometimes, just through the network. But that's a way to keep it off, as
Okay.
well. So
And could you spell that just to make sure it's not some funky spelling? Is it just like,
yeah, it's like Exodus, like the book of the Bible. And I
okay,
will
you
put
know
it
how
on here.
sometimes people, like lift is Lyft.
Completely. No, and I'm glad you asked that. And let me actually open a window here and just share it on the screen so you can see, and it looks familiar and that kind of thing. Anybody else have any experience with Exodus, good or bad? I noticed they changed their logo recently when I updated the app. But I've had good luck with it. It's been around, forever. A lot of these things that I still use today, I started using, back in 2017. So, they're not these kind of fly by night, Johnny come lately, which obviously with technology, there can be better, newer things come along, but they keep updating, supporting more coins. In here, there's that built-in exchange they talk about where you can swap back and forth. Somebody asked me the other day about an app to track the value of the coins, and I thought, I don't really do that because I just look at my wallet. So like here, they talk about the live chart and portfolio. So, the coins that I have in Exodus, the one that I have the most value of shows up at the top, and then you works your way down, and then it shows you the values right there. So that's how I kind of keep up with it, because I just look at the wallet because it's got the live values, that kind of thing. So anyway, and it works they've got it for Mac, PC, as well as I think there's a Linux one there too. Yeah, a couple Linux, and then on Apple and Android apps. And they do have this thing where they work with a Trezor, and I know you can use like the Trezor or the Ledger with MetaMask. There's a way to do that too if you're trying to do DeFi stuff, but your funds are on a cold wallet. There's ways to kind of link those two together. So yeah, see a couple questions in chat. Let me just cover here real quick. Ahmed asked, which wallet do you recommend the most? Let me share this one. This is my website. I do, some crypto coaching and stuff. So what I did is I finally put together this page, and I'll put it in chat here too. And this is kind of my rundown of what to do, this kind of thing. So I basically talk about the Trust, the Clever, and the Exodus wallets, and why you want to use each of them, that kind of thing. The Trust wallet is nice because and the Clever will allow you to buy the crypto right in the wallet. So you could literally, and I've done this before, sitting at a restaurant, have somebody download the app, pull out their debit card, and buy $50 worth of Bitcoin, Tron, BNB, whatever it was, right there in the app. And you don't need to, sign up for anything or KYC or anything like that. So that's a real good way to start. That's why it's on step one. That's something that Exodus doesn't let you do, but they do seem to support more coins. So anyway, I'll put that link in the thing there to kind of answer that question in more detail. Ahmad, did you have any experience with any so far, or ones that you've tried, or any certain features you're looking for?
The only one I use is Edge, and I like that because it's just it's password protected, so it'll if you lose your phone, then so long as you have the password and the original private key for the whole app, then you could restore it on a different phone.
Right. That's good to have. Yeah, Exodus has that kind of thing. And with Trust, you can actually do the similar thing, because you're actually restoring to your like the BNB or the Ethereum wallet and the private keys for that account or address. But that's good. And yeah, you definitely want to have that some kind of password or a PIN protected on your phone. So if somebody picks up your phone, they can't just go there and send all your Bitcoin to their wallet, you know, that kind of thing. So most of them have that. Some of them don't have it turned on by default. So you want to, you know, check that or make sure that's on, you know, and you have to type in like a 4 or 6 digit PIN, just like you do to, you know, unlock your phone type of thing. So definitely good.
Brad,
Yeah.
what about the two-step authentication? That gives an extra security.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, but then if you lose your phone, then you wouldn't be able to do two-step. So that's why there's with the Edge one, there's like a private key that, you know, when you're first creating your account, that you write it down somewhere, and that kind of like your, you know, crypto keys. It's like a private key for the app itself.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, those are both good points. And one thing I wish, kind of along that line, if a lot of people have had problems with MetaMask wallets, and I think if their MetaMask had a two-factor authentication, that would help. So yeah, it's a good point, but sometimes if it's on the phone, it's hard to use too. I know with crypto.com, they do that for transferring, you know, when you withdraw funds off there, and people have had a hard time going from one app to the other before the time runs out, you know, that kind of thing. So that can be challenging, but it is a great solution because it's so universal, that two-factor authentication. Good point. The other one that people have brought up is this atomic wallet. I have not used it myself, but after hearing so many people talk about it, I looked into it, and it definitely is if I needed another wallet, this is probably the next one that I would use. You know, in real life, you know, in our purses, in our pants, we only have one wallet. We don't, you know, the goal is not to have 7 wallets. So, you know, my goal has been to like, okay, use a wallet that does enough functionality that we don't have to have several wallets. Because when crypto first started, there was a wallet for Ethereum that Ethereum, you know, put out. And then there was one for Bitcoin that the Bitcoin people put out. And, you know, each one had their own. And then these wallets started coming out that supported multiple coins. So obviously here, Atomic Wallet talks about over 300 coins and tokens. That's, you know, that's a nice thing too. So yeah, let's see a couple more questions here. And thank you. Somebody sent me a private message, and that was exactly the kind of the question I was looking for. So thank you for the person that did that. It says, why are you saying to take everything off of Coinbase? And that is one of the things that is a basic and a foundation for crypto, is if you don't know or have the private keys or the 12-word seed phrase for your account, then you're not ultimately in control of your funds. You know, in the fiat world, we're reliant on Bank of America, Chase, Wells Fargo, whoever, to, you know, safeguard, you know, our money when we deposit our paychecks, that kind of thing. But in the crypto world, we each one of us individually can, and I think we should take, you know, and have full responsibility, 100% of responsibility for our own funds. That means if we do something wrong and we lose it or send it to the wrong person, it's on us. It's not calling customer service and saying, hey, somebody stole my Visa and that charge wasn't mine, that kind of thing. With crypto, we have the ability to be in control 100% of the time. And so that's what I think we should be doing with our funds. So when we're using an exchange like Coinbase, you know, KuCoin, Binance, Bittrex, any of these, they control the private keys for the wallets that we have. You know, we kind of have a quote unquote wallet on their exchange, and we have a wallet address. So when we would need to transfer funds to that exchange, you know, Bitcoin, for example, there's a specific wallet address, you know, Bitcoin address for our account, and we send the funds to that address and they show up in our account. But it's the KuCoin or whichever exchange actually controls those private keys. So if, you know, Coinbase goes down and goes away, all those funds go away. if I have my funds or if Michael has his funds in Exodus wallet, our wallet, our device on our phone is where that private key is stored. We can export and write down or copy out or whatever the private key for that particular coin, whether it's Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, etc. And so then we have complete control over that because it's the private key that allows access to those funds on the blockchain. Is that, I wanted that, I mean, that's just the foundation that, you know, I want to make sure everybody's clear on. If you have a question, you know, I'm sure you're not alone. So jump in if you got a question.
Yeah, I have a question.
Okay.
Hi. So I do have a Coinbase account and I also have a Binance account, and I haven't ledgered anything or put anything on the wallet itself, on a cold wallet. But it's not like I'm running in there to pull, you know, whatever money I put in there, right? So I'm just, it's just there. So
Yeah.
Currently I'm reliant on that key, you know, the one from my app to Coinbase or to Binance, right? So it's like, well, I'm not going to worry about it really because it's like it's ledgered, right? And so I know that I didn't pull any money out, and maybe a couple of years down the line when things get a little more regulated, or you know, now everyone has access to their coins and stuff like that, then it would be a good idea to start transferring your purchases that you're hodling, right? And safely move them to the ledger. Is that sound to do?
In my opinion, no. What you've described makes complete sense. But in my mind, you've gone from step 1 to step 10, and there's a lot of things in between that could potentially happen. You know, I don't, you know, you mentioned you have the funds there, and this isn't anything bad against you, or, you know, I don't even know you or whatever, but this is a great question. So I appreciate you bringing it up. Gloria talked about XRP on Coinbase was frozen last year, I think January or February. So if you had XRP in your Coinbase account, whether it was 1 coin, 100, 10,000 coins, those funds have been frozen there for 18 months and they haven't let in any, you know, they're still frozen. So that's the kind of problem that you can potentially run into. Now, if you're okay with that, then, you know, if you're okay with that, then it would be safe to leave your funds on Coinbase. If you're not okay with that kind of potential problem, then you would not want to keep your funds on Coinbase or any other exchange. But we've already seen Voyager, you know, a couple of days ago has limited withdrawals, you know, and that was popular because of the staking that they allow and paying a percentage, which is great. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but that, you know, if you can't withdraw your funds, that's a problem. You know,
can we define withdraw? Is withdraw saying take my coins, convert it into cash and give me back my cash, or is a withdraw meaning I just want to transfer my coins into my cold wallet?
The second there, being able to withdraw or transfer your coins from that exchange to anywhere else, whether that's a cold wallet, Trust Wallet, Exodus Wallet, an account on KuCoin, or your brother's wallet, whatever it is, you know, just the ability to say, nope, you can't take the coins out. Now that happened back in 2017, 18, when things were going crazy and literally these exchanges were running out of certain coins. Like they didn't have enough Ethereum because it was kind of like there was a run on Ethereum. So they said, okay, no Ethereum withdraws for 4 hours or 8 hours or something, and they would literally going out scrambling to buy more Ethereum, you know, real Ethereum on the blockchain, because everything we do in Coinbase or any of these other centralized exchanges is literally just I think you mentioned it, I don't know if you mentioned when you said ledger, you know, ledger as an accounting term from one account to another, but that doesn't, you know, I could transfer my Bitcoin to Ethereum on Coinbase, but that doesn't mean that they necessarily have enough Ethereum for me to withdraw if I want to do that type of thing. And that's where they ran into problems.
Right.
back in-
And so I just want to kind of clarify the ledger component. Ledger in two senses. One, whenever I go into Coinbase or to Bitcoin and purchase, whatever coins, and there's a ledger internally within that exchange that I've made that's recorded on my app as well as, so I consider that somewhat of a ledger. And then there's the cold wallet ledger, so to speak, that that acts as a transportable ledger of all the coins that I own in those exchanges.
When you move the coins to a ledger or a Trezor wallet, we'll just there's dozens of other ones. We'll just talk about those two because they've been around the longest. When you transfer your Bitcoin, for example, to your ledger wallet, then it's not on Coinbase anymore. It's on your ledger, which is good. Does that make sense? And
So,
Can I say
Yeah.
something?
well, hold on, Gloria. Let Chris finish his thought because it.
Okay.
So, let me see here. I think perhaps I'm confusing ledger in a digital versus a physical sense. I don't know.
At some point, we've been using ledger as a more of an accounting term when moving it from one account to another. And I think that's what you're talking about. When you're not talking about the ledger wallet that I've got on the screen.
Right, that's correct.
Okay. So, and in Coinbase, what we see on the app on our phone and what we see on the website is the same, which is nice.
Correct.
That's the same thing. So and they have a internal accounting ledger of all of the transactions, but that does no good if the company goes down or they freeze Bitcoin withdrawals or that kind of a thing. So the goal is to just move those coins off of the exchange onto a wallet where we control the private keys. That can be a ledger or a nano cold wallet. It can be a trust wallet on our phone. It could be Exodus on our computer, or any of those where you control your private keys. Does that make sense?
So because in my accounts, in my online mobile accounts, as part of the ledger, that's not, even though I can transfer them onto a cold wallet, I'm essentially removing everything out of that exchange and putting everything on the wallet, and now no longer the exchange applies anymore. It's not like a receipt saying this is how much you have over in that exchange.
Right. You'd want to move it off of the exchange into your wallet, and so your account at that exchange would be zero.
Got it. Okay.
Right. And in that case, then you control and are in complete control of those funds on that Trezor wallet. I'm going to avoid using the term ledger just for confusion's sake. Whether it's the Trezor wallet or a trust wallet or Exodus wallet, then you're in control there. And then if you wanted to say you have $1,000 of Bitcoin on Coinbase, okay, that's bad. So move the Bitcoin to your Exodus wallet. Now in 2 weeks, you want to trade that Bitcoin to Ethereum. So you transfer it from your Exodus wallet back to Coinbase and then swap it for Ethereum on Coinbase. And then you move the Ethereum to your Exodus wallet. But you just have it on the exchange just long enough to exchange it, 5-10 minutes type of thing.
Got it.
So, and that's kind of, I was trying to go there with my analogy with the grocery store, where we go into the grocery store with a $20 bill and we walk out with, milk, well, I'm going to say cookies and ice cream this time.
It's just milk now, Brad.
Yeah, that's where I was going. Yeah, it wasn't as many items. Totally appreciate that. Okay, so Gloria had a comment, and then I think somebody else, and I'll kind of catch up with the chats here too. So go ahead, Gloria.
Okay, I was gonna say, when I got my ledger, which was a couple years ago, I bought it from the country because the company in France, because they told me don't buy it on Amazon because we don't know what they've done to that inside. They could have set it up, another company to take. So anyway, the thing is, if you're going to use a ledger, buy it from the company. Don't buy it on Amazon.
Good point.
Another, that's important.
Or
Another
eBay.
thing I wanted to say, I don't know if you guys are keeping up on the quantum financial system, which is run on a satellite off planet. Now, we are using Wi-Fi now. Everything we're doing is Wi-Fi. When we switch over to the quantum system, we're going to be using that system that's run off planet that is not hackable. So we're in flux right now. So what we're learning and doing today is great, but there's this change coming. And also, it's like with this Lobster wallet, they're going to make everything more user-friendly for us, from what I've heard.
For sure.
So-
Well, yeah, fortunately that's happening, because when we started, it was challenging to use that. Yeah, Lobsters I like the path they're going on, including all that stuff in the wallet instead of having to jump around to different things like we do on BNB. So good. Okay, let me go back to, somebody mentioned, having their beach.
I would kind of like to take exception to the statement that just because it's on a satellite that it's not hackable.
Yeah, let's kind of just avoid that whole
All right.
I want to stick to
No
this
worries.
exchange just because this is fundamental, that kind of thing. So, but those would be great conversations to have over some pizza in 2 weeks if you're able to join us here in the Fresno Clovis area. We're doing another in-person meeting, and we did that back in May, and it was great, to actually see people in person. And so we've been doing that too. But I do want to focus just because I want everybody to be as safe and is in the most comfortable position that we can be, by the end of this meeting. So somebody mentioned BTC locked up on Celsius. So that's another example of that, that can happen. And then somebody, yes, again, same with all centralized exchanges. Uphold is an exchange, and the same kind of thing. Uphold is kind of easier to use from what I've used it in conjunction with getting the Brave rewards from the Brave wallet or browser and all that kind of thing. But to me, Uphold is a weird exchange, just the way it works. But absolutely the same thing applies to all the centralized exchanges. And this is a great question. Is Uphold a wallet or an exchange? How you can tell is going back here to number 3, or this one right here. Do you have your private keys or 12-word seed phrase? When you set up a MetaMask wallet, they give you the 12-word seed phrase, to restore the wallet if you need to. Now, when you set up a Coinbase account, you don't get that. So that's probably the easiest way to know is if, do you have a 12-word seed phrase for that thing you're talking about? If you do, that thing is probably a wallet. If you don't, it's probably an exchange. You may also, they may also give you your private keys, which looks like a big long, row of numbers and letters like our wallet address, but usually the private keys are 2 to 3 times longer, in length, that kind of thing. So great question on being able to tell the difference between those. Anybody have any questions on what something they're using as to what it is, or is it quote unquote safe or not? Not that, this is the be all end all authority on safety, but yeah, DeFi is another thing. Yeah, we've talked about that. We've got a bunch of recordings on DeFi. If you want to look at some of our previous meetings, we've gone there. So anybody on you know, is something a wallet or an exchange if you have an example or are unsure. Oops, somebody, okay. And then somebody mentioned, yeah, a paper wallet. It took me a while to get my head around paper wallets, you know, a few years ago, but I think those are a great example, or, you know, an inexpensive and great example of something we can use. Print out a couple copies of those, and, you know, one in the safe deposit box on the East Coast, one on the West Coast, one in your fireproof safe at home, you know, that kind of thing. So absolutely. And the nice thing there is, if, you know, say you're storing, you want to have Bitcoin for 5 to 10 years. Let's just call that time horizon. So you get your wallet, you have a paper Bitcoin wallet, and you have the wallet address. You can keep that piece of paper in your safe, in your safe deposit box, whatever, but you can send the coins to that wallet address without doing anything with the paper, because, you know, anybody can send coins to any other address. You don't need your private key or access to that wallet to be able to receive funds. So for example, you could have an automatic transfer from Coinbase, you know, from your Bank of America account on the 1st and the 15th of every month, because that's when you get paid. Maybe you transfer, you know, $50 per paycheck. And then you use that $50 to buy Bitcoin on Coinbase, and then you send the Bitcoin to that paper wallet address. And you never have to, you know, it's not like you have to open your Exodus wallet on your phone to receive funds.
But then Brad, wouldn't you have to print out another updated amount of paper wallet since you bought some?
No. The only information that's on the paper wallet is the address, you know, the wallet address that's public, that's where you send the funds to, and your private key. The private key is what's used to transfer the funds out of the wallet. Think of it as, think of an apartment building, and I'm in unit 101. And so everybody knows I'm in unit 101. You can mail, you know, 123 Main Street, apartment 101, and the mailman sticks the letter through the slot in the door, you know, and I can receive the mail. But in order to get that mail, I have to have my key that unlocks my door to open the door to get inside to get the mail.
Got it.
If that makes sense. But I can, you know, I can get mail all day long, you know, without, you know, I could be gone for a month and just be getting mail, you know, every day. And it's not until I want to access it or need to access it that I actually need that key.
Got it.
So yeah, good. Yeah, no, that's a great question. And just because the private, you know, I don't want people to go out and spend $150 on a cold wallet if they only got $400 in crypto. That doesn't make any sense. So there's a lot of, you know, lower cost alternatives for these kinds of things. All right, make sure I didn't have any questions.
Just to jump on that, if I could, Brad. So
Please.
if you've got 10,000, 20,000, 100,000, then a cold wallet makes sense to you?
To me, yeah. If I had $10,000 or $20,000 in Bitcoin, if I wasn't trading it, I would have all of it on a cold wallet. If I was trading some of it, I might keep $1,000 worth on Coinbase or Binance or wherever, and then the other 19,000 on the cold wallet. You know, if you're only trading $1,000, don't keep 20,000 on the exchange. You know, if something changes, you know, life change, I need a new transmission or something next week, I can always transfer from the cold wallet to Coinbase, sell the Bitcoin, transfer the funds to my bank account, and get the cash to pay for the transmission, type of thing. But while it's sitting there, if you're not doing anything with it, make sure wherever it's sitting is a safe place where you control the private keys.
And there's no fee to transfer it from your cold wallet or your treasure back to an exchange, right? Or is there?
Just the transaction fees for that that particular network. And that's a great point. We've all, you know, or probably some of us have noticed that, you know, for the past 6 months, the fees on the Ethereum blockchain have been crazy. I had I bought $100 of something a year ago on an exchange just because, hey, buy some of this. Okay. I bought $100 worth. And then I went to transfer it, and it was an Ethereum token, and they wanted, it was $20 the transaction fee, network fees to move it. And I'm like, whoa, I'm not paying $20 to move $100. I'll take the risk, and to leave it there. And just to share my, horror story, I had some coins on an exchange called Cryptopia. It was out of New Zealand. And I used it because it supported a lot of these little up and coming, just little coins. Then this was back in 17, 18, that kind of thing. And all of a sudden the exchange went down. And guess what? I lost all my coins.
No.
Line in.
Now, fortunately, it was only about $50 worth of coins. But that was enough for me to, to go through that experience and go, oh, I can't log in. Crap, what do I do now?
Yeah, Brad, that's exactly where I'm at. Being new to this, I just took out a small amount of Bitcoin at $500 and watched what it did just to learn something. And I've lost 65% of it, and it's on Uphold. And this is interesting stuff. But yeah, it's kind of scary if you can't wrap your head around stuff.
Yeah.
Disconnected.
Oh, not sure what's going on there. Yeah. So what I would do is get, Trust Wallet, Exodus Wallet, don't spend that, money on an Exodus or a Trezor or a Ledger, and move what you have left. I mean, you have the same amount of tokens. They're just worth less than when you bought them, type of thing. And that's welcome to crypto, but move them somewhere safe, and then even if you sit on it for a year or two or whatever. But on Bitcoin, the fees for Bitcoin recently haven't been too bad. Ethereum, I think it's come down because people aren't moving stuff, they're not as active as they were 3 months ago, but Bitcoin should be reasonable. But the other thing, even if it's $3 or $5 to transfer $200, it's a very good learning experience to transfer coins from one place to another. I mean, that's like number 2 or 3 on my list when I go through with people of, setting up a wallet, setting up an exchange account. And this is what we do, is you need to know how to be able to move the coins from one place to the other.
Yeah, and that's exactly why I only bought a small percentage of Bitcoin at the time. Small percentage, so it's like a lesson for me. Like you said, moving it around, seeing what it does, and now asking questions about exchanges and wallets. And so while we've been talking, I just downloaded Exodus, and I'm going to learn how to exchange my what's left of my $500 over to Exodus and see how that works. Is Exodus a pay wallet?
What do you mean by pay wallet?
I mean, do you buy it, or I downloaded it? I didn't see anywhere where they charged.
Correct. It's free.
Okay.
It's free. They're going to make some money from swapping. If you transfer your Bitcoin over to it and swap $100 into Litecoin, they're going to make some money on the fees, for that swap. So, if you're doing a lot of trading, I wouldn't do it within the wallet, move it back to maybe Uphold, but maybe KuCoin or whatever to actually swap from Bitcoin to Ethereum or Litecoin or whatever you want to trade it to.
All right, thank you.
But that's how they make their funds. So good. Yeah. So basically all you're going to do is get your Bitcoin address in Exodus and then take that over to Uphold. And when it says withdraw to which address, you're going to paste in that address and send it over there. And always when you're pasting in addresses on your phone or your computer, always confirm the last 3 or 4 digits of the address. Just to make sure that there's not some malware or something in there that's pasting in the hacker's address. So when you type in, paste in your address, you want to make sure that's what comes out on that exchange. But then you also know that you've pasted the entire address, all 26 characters or whatever it is. And those last, 4 or 5 are always, different. So if the last 4 match up, you should be good. So that's just kind of a verification every time you paste in an address there. Good. Okay. Any other exchanges that you guys especially like or have used? I mean, yeah, so many of them putting things on hold and that kind of stuff. The one that I keep liking more and more is KuCoin. It seems to be, yes, it's okay for US customers. No, it's not. I'm not sure, but they keep offering more features, and unless you're trying to move big amounts, you don't have to go through all of their verification steps, to get set up. But they offer trading bots, within the thing, and they support a lot of coins. So the only thing they don't do is link to a bank account. That's the only thing I found with KuCoin that they don't do, but they do a lot of things that others don't. So I definitely look at that. And that is just kucoin.com as far as that goes. Okay, see any other in chat, guys, here? DeFi. Yeah, the DeFi, there's, if you go to videos.fresnobitcoin.com, that'll take you to our YouTube channel. And it's basically been about a year and a half, maybe 2 years since we've been recording. So here we've got practical uses of DeFi. We had a special guest. We can go back and look at him. And so we've talked about DeFi in the past, the pools and exchanges, that kind of thing. Here we talked about that last month, that kind of thing. So yeah, DeFi is getting a little interesting because some of these ones that were kind of borrowing from Joe to pay Sam, and have gotten caught with their pants down. It's getting interesting. So we got to be cautious, and if it sounds too good to be true, it might be too good. So be careful there. But DeFi, there's still a long ways to go. We're early in the process there. Let's see, anybody? Letitia, I know I muted you. There was some background noise. Were you gonna jump in there a few minutes ago? Okay, and Wendy, jump back in. I know you've joined us several times in the past. Where are you at on the exchanges? I know you've used at least a few. What are some good or bad ones that you like or don't like?
Yeah, I've got a question since there's no
Okay.
answer there.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
So we were just talking about transferring my crypto or Bitcoin from Uphold to Exodus. I'm sorry, I'm just really new at this. How do I go about doing this?
First, you're going to get your Bitcoin wallet address from Exodus. So when you have a wallet that has that supports multiple coins, there's a different address for each coin. So number one, if you're transferring Bitcoin, make sure you're transferring it to a Bitcoin address. I wish, I don't have Exodus on this computer. Let me do it on, I think I've got my Coinbase still.
I mean, if this is such a basic thing that everybody understands it and I don't, can we just put this offline and do that when we're done?
It's something that I'm sure there's probably a couple people that could benefit from it as well. Let me see if I can.
I just don't want to waste anybody's
Yeah,
time.
no. If somebody has any other questions, jump in. But this, if with all this crypto stuff, I kind of use the analogy of I'm trying to teach people to be able to cross the street,
Right.
to do these basic things in crypto. Once you can cross the street, then you can go anywhere in the world. Now you may be different crossing a small street versus a lake or a river versus a freeway or something. But once you can get across those, then you can go anywhere and do anything you want. So I'm just trying to get you to cross the street. Okay, so here is my Coinbase account. I'm bad, and I actually have $25 on here. I use my Coinbase debit card to earn, currently it's a 2% reward on everything I buy, on the debit card, gas, groceries, whatever. But what you would do, let's see, we go to send and receive on,
Uphold.
yeah, something similar to that. And so,
Okay, I get it, because maybe Uphold will pick up my Exodus wallet thing.
well, you're going to give it your Exodus Bitcoin wallet address. And if you think of it like you're sending a package. If say I bought a watch from you, Chris, and I said, okay, hey, Chris, I'm going to buy your watch for $100. You got to send it to me. And so for you to send me your watch, what do you need?
Postmark. Address.
Yeah. Whose address do you need?
Yours.
Right. Because that's where you're sending it. So whenever the address that we're using when we're doing transactions is the address of where we're sending the coins to. So in this case, Exodus. So you would get your Exodus wallet address and you'd have it like pay with Bitcoin. You would paste it in here, it would come up and it would look like, gobbledygook, because that's what it is to us. And then you'd say continue. And then it would confirm, you'd put how much you want to send. Yeah, send it all, that kind of thing. And then it would confirm, and then, then it would send it. So sometimes it's challenging if you have the wallet on your phone, but you're accessing Uphold on the computer. So you need to get that address from your phone to your computer, which maybe that means sending it via email to yourself, and then accessing it on your computer or something like that, or texting it to yourself and accessing it on the computer, however you do that, because you don't want to try to type it all in, because you're probably going to make a mistake. I mean, maybe you're closer to perfect than I am, but that's a lot of characters to type in accurately.
Yeah.
So it's easier to copy and paste it, but that's the process.
All right.
And that's something we go over in when we do the crypto exchanges. So let me log in here to my KuCoin account, and we can just do it there. Hold on, because I have an Uphold account. I don't use it very often, but let's see if, and that's why it's kind of screwy. Because I know, and part of the reason why I say it's screwy is just the way the verbiage and everything kind of works with it. But let's see if I can actually get to it, because I only use it to pull out my earnings for the Brave browser. And unfortunately, that coin is on the Ethereum chain. So the fees are crazy high. Okay. All right, so let's see what I got here. My balance, I got $40. I've got, I have Bitcoin. I didn't know I had Bitcoin in there.
You're welcome.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so in this example, let's say I'm because I can't do Exodus here. Let's say I'm going from Uphold to Coinbase. So instead of saying send on Bitcoin, I'm going to say receive. And it says only send BTC to this address. So you don't want to send, Bitcoin Cash to this address. You don't want to send Ethereum, so Bitcoin to a Bitcoin address, Litecoin to a Litecoin address.
So my screen on Uphold doesn't have that. It says to, it says the word to in search.
Okay, well, let me get my address from here, and then we'll go to Uphold. So this is going to be your first step to get your address of where the package, AKA.
Thanks for your patience, everybody.
Yeah, no problem. Okay. All right. So I'm going to say, I understand. So here is my Bitcoin address. I'm going to hit this little copy icon here to copy that. All right. So now I'm going to go to Uphold. I don't know if yours looks like this.
Exactly what mine looks like.
Okay, so I'm, and
I guess the problem I'm having is the last step you just did before this, you, that screen that you just had.
on
That-
Coinbase.
I guess it was Coinbase. I don't know where you were at.
Yeah, this is Coinbase.
Yeah,
And
but I'm sending it to, from Uphold to, Exodus.
correct. And in this example, I'm using Coinbase because what I'm trying to do is get a valid Bitcoin address to paste into Uphold.
Okay, so where do I get the, Bitcoin address on, Exodus?
You're going to tap on the Bitcoin in your portfolio, and they use, at least on the, if you're on the app, it's going to have like arrows coming in and arrows going out.
Got it.
And so the arrow that looks like it's coming in, I think it's like pointing down to the left. I'm opening mine right now just to,
Yeah, I see
okay.
it.
So that's like receiving versus, sending. Yeah, let me see. And the other thing you can do if you have like a QR code like this, like if I was sending from my Exodus on my phone to Coinbase, I could just scan this QR code that's on the screen right now. So that's where it's nice sometimes using the apps on the phone. Yeah. So it's the arrow on the right side of the screen, and it shows your BTC address, tap Bitcoin address to copy it. And then, or you can use, mine has a share function to email it or text it to wherever you want to get it on your computer, so then you can paste it in. So again, I'm copying the address here, then I'm going over to Uphold. I'm going to try just clicking on Bitcoin because that's where the funds are. Oh, here, transact. So transact, use, okay, yeah, use funds, withdraw to a bank account or a crypto network. So I'm going to click on that. So transact from the BTC account to Bitcoin. And I'm going to say up here, max. And then it's going to go down here. So I'm going to say, and I haven't even put in the wallet address yet. Again, this is why this is screwy to me, because all the other ones I used have worked differently, but this is a little simpler. Okay, so from, oh no, that's to my Bitcoin account 4. I don't have a Bitcoin account 4. Okay, sorry. So
I'm so lost.
yeah. Oh, here. So when you say to, instead of my account, you're going to say, you click on cryptocurrencies, then click on Bitcoin, preview trade. No, that's still not right, because it's an external, we're trying to send it to an external account. Let's see, I got a couple messages here. Okay, Allegra, good to have you on. We still have the recording going, so we'll post that later. Has anybody else used Uphold to transfer tokens out? Crypto networks, here we go, let's try that. So when you say to, we can say, okay, yeah, scroll down here to crypto networks, crypto network. And so there's going to be some fees involved because we're sending 0.0012 and we're only getting 0.0009. So now it's saying preview withdraw. So the network withdrawal fee is $6 out of that $27 that I have. So I'm going to say preview withdraw, and this is where you'd paste in the address, just like that.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
And usually they don't work this way. But that's okay. As long as you know how to do it, because they allow you to like move the funds to so many different ways, where normally you go into Bitcoin, you're like, okay, you're going to move Bitcoin to Bitcoin. Just tell me the address where you want to send it to and how much. And those are the only two questions. This has got all these, my account, this account, network,
Yeah.
fiat, blah, all these other things, banks, which is nice, but it gets confusing. So hopefully that helps a little, because I feel a little more confused than I started, but at least I know to scroll down a little more here. And without looking at this, there's no way I could have told you this, just because this is just, like I said, it's the way this works is screwy kind of thing. So you feel a little more comfortable on that now, or?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to dilly daddle with this later when we're all offline.
Okay.
that's-
Check out
that's-
my website. I do one-on-one coaching if that's something you need,
Okay,
that kind of thing too, but
yeah, and that's exactly why I put this money in there, because I can afford to lose it, but at the same time, it's an education. So this is part of the education.
yeah. And the first time maybe transfer $50, because if you do it wrong, you don't want to lose all 500 or whatever's left, kind of thing like that. So you can, you'll pay more in fees doing that, but it may be safe, safer. Now, I would especially recommend that if the fees weren't so much, like on B&B, the fees are like 12 cents or 17 cents. So you doing a few transactions doesn't hurt like $6 a transaction here does.
Right.
So good. Okay. Letitia asked what my website, I'll post that in here again, brecrypto.com, and that getting started page. Oh, sorry, the private message person, I accidentally private message you the whole thing there. Is as far as the wallets and exchanges, check out that the getting started page. Just kind of is because what happened is, numerous people would tell me, what do you think about this browser? What do you think about, or this wallet, this exchange? And I finally just put that page together to say, these are the ones I've used. This is why you want to use them. There may be others. I mean, just like cars, you may have driven Toyotas all your life and never driven a Honda. Honda may be great, but you can only recommend Toyotas because that's what you've driven, kind of thing. So that's what that getting started page is for, as far as that goes. Okay. Good. Anybody else questions? Just, I want you guys to be comfortable and have your coins in a safe place. And definitely now is not the time to, dabble in new things that you see, 20% interest, a month, or these kinds of things. Because now is just a good time just to hodl and just, and hodl is hold on for dear life in the crypto space. If hodl, it's like, well, what does that mean? It's like, that term gets thrown around kind of thing. So, okay, let's see. Michael, any other questions on it sounds like you've done more on exchanges and stuff. It's not as much with the wallets. And I know a lot of people are active traders. And so, they keep their funds on exchanges because that's where they need to be to trade. So nothing wrong with that. But if you're just sitting on the coins, definitely keep them off the exchanges. Good. Letitia, any questions? Or I know you mentioned you wanted to learn. Any other things we can kind of point you at or show you real quick? Okay, maybe she can't talk. Sometimes people join and they're not in a space where they can talk. Maybe they're at work or something like that. Go ahead, Carlos. Let's see.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about the near future of the U.S. digitizing their coin, and by doing that, will it shake the foundation of all of this, cryptocurrency the anonymity? Will that now remove all the anonymity away?
Okay, you've opened a huge can of worms there. Let me just kind of try to summarize it. To me, with all the kind of regulation and things that they're trying to put on, and they're looking at crypto. Biden had his thing where he's going to have some working group on crypto and report back in 6 months or that kind of thing. to me, it seems like whoever they are, even beyond the US, because obviously this is an international thing, and crypto knows no borders, real crypto. Now, obviously exchanges, depending where they operate, have to work by certain rules, especially when they're linking to bank accounts. And that's why you see some exchanges that don't link to bank accounts, because if they don't link, if you can't link your American bank account to that exchange that operates out of Brazil, they don't need to worry about any US regulations or anything, as far as I know. And we as US citizens can use that Brazilian exchange, type of
Can
thing.
I can give you some input on that.
Well, let me just finish up and then jump in here, Ray. So
Right.
so to me, it seems like they're not trying to do away or squash cryptos. What happens or is going to happen with central bank digital currencies, or CBDCs, as they're kind of abbreviated. It seems like China's the most ahead in that game. I don't know where we are. It seems like we're behind, but maybe they've got something they haven't been talking about or sharing. It's going to be interesting, because they could come out, the US could come out with a digital dollar. I mean, we're already digital now with the banks and everything, the way we do it. But as far as a blockchain based kind of a situation, and if they forced us to use that, and that became the only choice at the gas station or the supermarket or that kind of thing, that would be one thing. But if we still have the options to use BitPay or these different services that allow us to pay at the point of sale, with a crypto, or using a debit card that's tied to a crypto account somehow, unless they actually, can squash all of that, I don't see how they can do away with the cryptos in the current arena that that what we have now we'd have in the future, type of thing. And I don't think what we have now, we need everything in the future. Obviously 20,000 different coins like Coinbase has listed, or I'm sorry, Coin Market Cap has listed. We don't need all of those coins, so a lot of those should go away, because they're not really serving a purpose, or their project is not really helping society, so to speak. But that maybe there's hundreds are applicable, that kind of thing. So we'll see. Ray, go ahead and jump in, and what you think on this. I mean, this is crazy here.
Was the question, will anonymity disappear?
That was part
no.
of it. I didn't even cover that, because it's
not
yeah.
not that it disappears. It's just that, well, yes, anonymity. I mean, that's the whole purpose of government control. It's
So,
just
but Carlos,
no longer.
Carlos, ask the question again, please.
Yeah.
Ask the
So
question.
in the creation of a digital U.S. coin, right? Because right now we have in our exchanges, we have Tether, we have all these other kind of like $1 value
stable coins, right?
Stable coins, yes.
Right.
So like, that's the use that to make purchases that equate to $1 and stuff. So then that way it doesn't, you don't have to translate things to Satoshis and stuff like that. So it makes it easier to digest when you're doing these transactions. And then US will come out and say, you know what, we're going to digitize our own US dollar, and everyone's got to now use that. So whatever you have in your exchanges, you can purchase whatever you want, but you're going to have to take that and trade it in for a US digital coin.
In order to spend like day to day.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
And there goes your anonymity, because now they know, oh, well, he's using Monero. Oh, he's using Bitcoin. Oh, so, this is where like your anonymity is now no longer there and a bit traceable.
I think, Carlos, there's a possibility you're kind of jumping across two to three different areas in the one statement. Is on one hand, I follow this whole regulation thing very closely. And on one hand, they're fighting right now between the agencies who's going to control, oversee, regulate cryptocurrencies. And it appears that there's two agencies that are going to wind up doing it. The issue is control, mainly for two reasons. One, they want a piece of the action, Because every time there's any kind of transaction whatsoever, whether it's a swap, a buy, a sell, there's money to be made, just like anytime you buy anything in a store, buy gas, earn money, you pay taxes. They want a piece of every transaction that ever takes place because it's in the trillions. The other thing is to control and regulate, because we're up to 2 trillion in theft that has taken place in cryptocurrencies already.
Wow.
They are massive thefts that have taken place. So between those two, you have a regulation issue to eliminate the theft, but you also have regulation to get a piece of the action. The anonymity side of it is that it does appear that as it moves forward in the decentralized, that they will try to jump in on that as well and say, because they want a piece of the action, they want to control theft, they will have to also say, whether you're decentralized or centralized, you're going to have to provide all the important information about who you are, your bank account, your driver's license, whatever else, so that you cannot move any currency of any kind in any way without them being able to track it. The other issue is taxes. So every time money is made, let's say over a 12-month period, they want a piece of that as well. So they want taxing when you're using and transferring, but they also want taxes on what you've earned. And so for that reason, the idea of the loss of anonymity, it does appear it will come. But the question is how long the legislation will take to evolve and mature to the point where it makes sense. Because even those within government agencies, appointed and employees, are trying to get up to speed themselves as to how all this stuff is working. The space itself of cryptocurrency, decentralized, centralized, is so new in its own right. It's only 2 years old when you think about it, at the level that it's at now. And it is still rapidly evolving with all kinds of new ways of doing all this stuff. So you have kind of what happens in traditional Wall Street. Traditional Wall Street, between the investment banks and the regulators, the investment banks are always coming up with new products, new services to stay one step ahead of regulations so they can make hundreds of millions of dollars. Then the regulators step in and say, I see you've got a new product here and we're not getting our piece of the action and there's a lot of theft going on. So now we figured out how to regulate that. Then the investment banks have to come up with something new to make more billions before the regulators catch up. That's what's going to happen here. There will be constantly new terminology, new products, new services that the regulators haven't gotten on top of, where people can figure out how to make large amounts of money without being tracked. But there will be the constant catch up ahead of the game, catch up ahead of the game. So in summary, I think that covers, I think, what you're talking about.
Yeah, that was great, Ray. Thank you. And as far as anonymity, keep in mind that all of these transactions are on public blockchains. So just because you didn't put in your social security number, your driver's license with your Exodus wallet when you created that, doesn't mean that you can't track those transactions. So say you purchase with your Bitcoin, a graphics card and it gets shipped to your house. Well, somewhere along the line, it's possible to find, okay, this graphics, maybe, Amazon or whatever company, just they have to disclose whatever. And okay, here's this shipment and it was paid for with a Bitcoin address, and here's the address and the name of the person that it was sent to. So then they say, okay, Bob Jones got this graphics card. Here's his Bitcoin address, and you look on the blockchain and see all the other things that have gone on with that Bitcoin address, and it's just like looking at your credit card statement type of thing.
Well, there are also, Brad, there's 2 agencies out there. I can't remember the name of them off the top of my head, but there are 2 agencies. Their clients are the FBI.
Right.
Their clients are the Department of Justice, the CIA. That's who their clients are.
Right. And
They're-
Coinbase is
and-
one of them that I saw is doing that kind of thing. Yeah.
But
Exactly.
yeah, the two agencies that I'm thinking of, and I'm sorry, I can't remember the name, all they do is track transactions to the source. That's what they do. So these thefts that have happened, whether it's $1 million in cryptocurrency or it's the 600 million that happened out of North Korea, these two agencies are in the full-time business of tracking down to the source of where it happened and then tracking where the money went. And even if the money goes going through, even the cryptocurrency is going through multiple wallets, multiple exchanges to get to where whoever the thieves are, to get so they can turn it into cash, these two agencies follow all of that. So the whole idea of anonymity, if you're doing something for $10,000, who knows, pick a number, $50,000, and nobody's really going to spend that much time tracking you. But
They start tracking right at 10,000.
well, that used to be on currency, right? Currency,
In banks, yeah.
in
Deposits,
banks,
withdrawals.
yeah, I always do everything under 10,000. I always move money, large amounts of money. I do 7,000, wait a little while, another 6,000, wait a while, another 8,000. I've done that for years. But in cryptocurrency, I'm not sure. That's an interesting one, Chris. I don't know in cryptocurrency who's tracking and who cares at this stage of the game on the smaller amounts. I think they're just trying to figure out to get a handle on the whole situation. The only ones they're really concerned about is when somebody says, "Hey, we just had $1 million disappear." Those are the ones that they're spending time on.
So it's like the phrase that I think about when listening to all of this is like, well, the train's already left the station and you can't put toothpaste back in the tube.
You got it. You got it. It's already left the station. And the agencies are trying to catch up. It's interesting to listen to some of the hearings at the Senate, when they're talking about this stuff. You listen to these elected with witnesses who are in the space professionally, and the dialogue is like they're talking across each other because the guys in the space know what they're talking about, and clearly the elected have no idea what's going on. And the stuff that I've been reading, even the people within those agencies also don't really understand it yet. So, but they're hiring people. I have heard they are trying to hire people who are in the space and actually understand how the exchanges work, how the blockchains work, how the wallets work. They are hiring people and trying to get themselves up to speed.
Yeah, good discussion. And yeah, we're running a little over time, but any other last minute things you guys want to ask or throw in about the exchanges or things to look out for that maybe we haven't seen go public yet, or a buddy had a problem with, or that kind of thing. All right. Okay. Well, if you're in the Fresno Clovis area, just another reminder, 2 weeks from tomorrow, we've got our in-person meetup at the Me and Ed's and Willow and Knees there in Clovis. And that's on the event page too. And you'll be emailing out a note before the event there. As far as our next meeting via Zoom should be the second Saturday in August. I'm not sure what that date is, but I'll get that posted, and
The 13th.
go from there. 13th, that sounds right. Good, thank you. And we will either come up with a good topic or talk about the current state of affairs then, probably a little bit of both. If you guys ever have any topic suggestions, feel free to reach out. I know Anthony talked a little bit about last time about doing a deep dive on coins and tokens. That might really be interesting to do at this point after so many of them have had problems as far as that kind of thing. So always feel free to give me feedback and on anything. And again, you can find recordings of this and other previous meetings at videos.fresnobitcoin.com. With that, I wish you guys a good afternoon and keep that crypto safe. Take care, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.